G'day guys, welcome back to Stat Chat Sports. You are here with our Premier League Match Week 6 preview. We're looking at our one game of the week. If you had only time to watch one game in this week, which game would you watch? We're going to a Big Six matchup. For me. This is a fixture that really is going to see where it's going to tell us where these two teams are at, and it's Manchester United v Arsenal. Um, for me, it's an awesome fixture. It's one that Arsenal have probably had the wood over in recent years. Um, Obviously, with United struggles, I mean Arsenal have been struggling as well. It's been a hard one to pick, but two teams that really should be showing a fair bit of promise at the moment. Lots of signings brought in. Arsenal obviously undefeated to start the season, 15 points from a possible 15. United, I'm pretty sure 3 wins in a row for United. Both teams are really rocking at the moment, so both teams are going to be hungry for those 3 points.
Yeah, I think I'm going to look at it from Arsenal's perspective because we spoke about it on our last our video last week when Arsenal was the hold fire, and we mentioned that this game would be their first real test against a Big Six side this season. They've obviously started perfect, 5 from 5. The only team that is 5 from 5 at the moment. But they haven't really played too many sides of note, at least anyway. I mean, Leicester, yes, but they're having a poor season. But that's probably about it, to be perfectly honest. So this for me is their real test. It's not going to be easy, given United are 3 on the bounce, and it's at Old Trafford as well. But it's going to be an interesting one. You know, the head-to-head stats as you touched on probably favour Arsenal recently, which I'm just as surprised as you are, to be perfectly honest, given how average both sides have been in the last couple of years anyway. And just you compare the two sides at present. I think Arsenal have it over them, to be perfectly honest. You know, they've Martinelli, Gabriel Jesus, and Odegaard all on 3 goals for Arsenal. They have an average goals of 2.6 per game, nearly 3 goals per game, whereas United, just have the 1. So it's going to be difficult for United to keep Arsenal quiet, I think, because they've been on a scoring spree, which, if you look at United, yes, they've won, but they've been scoring 1 goal. And Arsenal on average are conceding 0.8 goals. They're conceding less than a goal a game. So that to me reads that Arsenal are going to win this game.
Yeah, I think the way I look at it is, I mean, Arsenal are further ahead on their progression curve in a sense. I mean, Arteta's been at the helm there for a little bit longer, has really had a chance to work with this group of players and put together what he wants, and he's got the personnel he wants. Not making excuses for Ten Hag at all, but it's in its infancy. His Manchester United reign. So, I mean, there are good signs at United. I'm pretty sure there's three clean sheets. I know he's had 2 in a row. Not sure if it's 3 in a row, but that defensive pair of Martinez and Varane
might have found it.
Yeah, I think the Maguire experiment is all well and done. I mean, you can do what you want with him, but I think this pair really they've been a rock at the back. There's no other way to put it. It pains me to say it, but they have. They've been really good. I mean, Varane's is a Champions League caliber centre back. Martinez has been highly touted coming from Ajax, and that I think that's their bedrock at the moment. Is they're building out a defence, and we saw I can't remember who I think it was the Brentford game where they lost 4-0. Ten
Mm.
Hag's he just insisted on it seemed like Ten Hag was insisting on playing out of the back, play this way. This is how we get it right. This is how it works. And it looks they've stuck to the narrative, and it's helped them. I mean, it was obviously going to be pain early, and I mean we're only 5 games in. I say it's early in the season, but maybe we are starting to see that the pairing start to come together and look quite good.
Does the $100 million man start this
Surely,
week for United?
surely. I mean, you don't pay that much if he's ready to go. I mean, it's not like he's lacking match fitness or anything. He's already played for Ajax this season. He'd have to. I think this is the kind of game we said it about in our last game of the week. We said it about Isak against Liverpool. You want to play these new signings in the big games, and I think it makes sense. Anthony's got to start. I'm not sure who he bumps out.
Couldn't be Sancho, not with the 2 goals he scored in recent weeks.
Well, that's it. I mean, I was almost going to say Sancho, but with his form, you can't do it. Do you mix it around and Rashford gets bumped out? I'm not sure. But I mean, you spend $100 million on the bloke, you're going to fit him in somewhere. That's the problem they have. But yeah, no, I'd like to see him start.
Yeah, I'm not too sure if he will. He would have less than a week on the training ground with them, and obviously they had a midweek game thrown into that as well. So there's a less day training. So yeah, I'm not sure. Not sure if he will. I'd expect Casemiro to start. I'll be honest, I'm not exactly sure whether if he started against Leicester. I feel like he came off the bench. But
yeah,
I'd fully expect Tim to start. Yeah, no, he didn't start. So yeah, I'd expect him to start now. Two appearances off the bench, I think is enough to give him that starting role. And they'll probably be looking at creating a partnership with I would assume Ericsson next to him as well. That way they get rid of Fred and McTominay at the side. So I'm sure United fans are happy with that. But
yeah,
McFred, yeah. But I'm still tipping Arsenal, I think, for this one. As much as it seems like we've raised question marks about Arsenal this season, I still just think they're the better side than United at this point.
They look good. I mean, they look good to watch. Arsenal. I haven't seen a lot of their games, but what the play I have seen is they just look. It's an Arteta unit. It's a Pep. It's Pep light, really. That's what it feels like to me. Obviously, Arteta spent his time under Pep, and that's what he's come to Arsenal to do is be Pep light, and it is working now. So I mean, they've got so long to hit the heights of what Pep has done at City, and I mean they don't exactly have the investment yet, but it's a little mini version, and it's good to see.
Yeah, we're definitely seeing parts of that Pep style come through. So yeah, this is exactly the start that Arsenal needed, and if they can get over this hurdle, then that puts them in a real good position.
Yeah, look, my tip, I think I'm going with Arsenal as well. It is at Old Trafford, which gives United a little bit of an advantage or something to build off, but I agree. I think what Arsenal are building here and the form they've shown, yes, they've been dealt a pretty decent set of fixtures to start the season. Let's be honest, but they've handled everything that's come their way. They've dealt with adversity and coming from behind to win. I think they can get this done, and the goals they're scoring, I think, is the biggest. We've touched on United's ability to keep them out, but like you said, Arsenal's the way they've been able to score is will get them the win in this fixture. All right, our next segment, unpopular opinions. We like to try and canvass maybe some opinions that are floating around out there that may or may not be what we would consider popular. I mean, we try and get the unpopular ones because they're more controversial, and then we can ask a few more questions, and it's all a bit dramatic. But look, I'm going to start with one here. It
Mhm.
may or may not. Mine always seem to be may or may not be unpopular, but it's just an opinion that I have, and it's going to look pretty silly because for anyone who's watched early on enough, I said Haaland was going to be. Well, didn't say he was going to be a bust, but I said he would take a long time to adjust. Um,
Yes, you did say that.
he's just about averaging 2 goals a game, so I clearly got that wrong, and I'm going to completely reverse on this. And look, I think he will go down as City's greatest ever striker. And
Oh,
uh, I mean, there's only really one other candidate, but we're also talking about one of the Premier League's greatest strikers too.
yeah, I can 100% see it happening. I mean, a couple of things that come to me straight away is that I mean, Haaland's already massively proven in the goal scoring department, more so than I feel Aguero was at his time. But probably more importantly, Haaland is joining a City side that is already at their peak. When Aguero joined, I can't remember exactly the year that he joined, but that it was kind of at the start of City's the begin of their reign, I suppose, of taking over English football. Um, it wasn't lit up with superstars already when he first joined, whereas obviously that current City's got you know, Bernardo Silva, Riyad Mahrez, Kevin De Bruyne, all of these players that will just feed Haaland the goals. Not saying at that time that Aguero didn't have that, but I feel like the squad is more complete that Haaland's coming into than when Aguero did as well. Um, so I mean, it wouldn't surprise me to see it happen. I think. Um, what did you say it was? 180
100,
something?
184
150?
he scored in all competitions.
184, yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, given as long as he doesn't move anywhere within the next 5 years, let's say, um, you know, if he stays at City, I mean, he's always spoken about City as his boyhood club. I think he was born in Manchester, so let's say he stays at City for 7 or 8 years, up until he's about 30. It wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise to see him close to 250, anywhere from that 250 to 300 range, I
So
think.
he's there's a good chance he could probably beat Shearer's record. You reckon?
I wouldn't put it past him.
Mm.
No.
Mm.
To not only overtake, obviously, Aguero for City's all-time scorer, but to beat Shearer as an all-time Premier League goal scorer, I don't think it's off the cards for him, no.
Yeah. No, I was thinking about coming out with that, but I wasn't sure. I mean,
Mm,
that's a big record. That's one that stood for a long, long time. And I mean, 9 goals in 5 games is all well and good, but who knows what could happen in the next few years? I mean, Shearer
yeah.
is probably him and Henri are probably the goat of Premier League. So
Mm.
it's a big call.
Yeah, it's a big call. It is a big call.
Mm.
But I strongly think that if anyone is to do it, like Harry Kane's a chance. I don't think
Mm.
Harry Kane will beat Alan Shearer's record, though, personally. I think if there is anyone to do it, it would be Haaland.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. All right.
Okay.
What do you got?
Now I'm going to start off by saying this isn't one I come up with, and this is one that you're going to find out that I strongly disagree with. But I saw it. I don't know who would agree with this because it's a horrible one. And that is that diving in football isn't all that of a bad thing. Now, yeah.
What?
immediate first reaction there. I don't know. He's got nothing. This person has nothing else to back up this claim. Football, diving is a part of football, and it has been for God knows how long now. We've learned to basically accept the fact of it. But it's not a good thing. Just because we've learned to kind of somewhat accept it, and I suppose since the introduction of VAR, it's you don't see as much of it anymore in terms of trying to win penalties and stuff like that because it can easily be overturned, but you do still see it in general play, because VAR can't overturn a free kick or anything like that. But yeah, it's certainly not a good thing. It doesn't promote exciting football or anything like that. So to say it's a good thing, I mean, that guy might have been about five or six beers deep at that point when writing that. So
Have to have been. I mean, we like to do unpopular opinions, but that is probably the most unpopular opinion going around in world football today.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
no one has ever thought, "Oh, that was a good dive. Oh, I wish I could dive like that." Everyone loves to see a worldie, but no one loves to see a good dive. You get absolutely heckled and attacked for it, and so you should be. No one should be attacked, but like shout at them, like get stuck into them. That like don't stand for that shit. But yeah, there no one stands to gain anything apart from. I mean, yes, you stand to gain goals that shouldn't be there, but everyone sees you for a fraud at the end of the day. And I mean, do you really want to sell yourself for that sort of success and be known for that? I mean, there's plenty of guys going around in world football that have that reputation. I mean, it hasn't ruined Neymar, but he's one that's carried it around for a long, long time. That he's a flop, he's a diver. It's
yeah,
followed him around like a bad smell, and that is not a good thing. Like no one needs that. So that's an odd one. That's a very odd one. But yeah,
yeah,
he wasn't 6 beers deep. He was half a carton deep. I'm sure of it.
yeah,
That's
yeah. Habs, yeah. I mean, I read it and I was like, "Yep, that's going straight into the video because that's an absolute shocker." I mean,
yeah,
yeah, I hate it. I hate diving. Like I said, VAR has ruled out a lot of the penalties and stuff that in previous years players might have won for diving, etc. But I mean, the likes in recent times anyway, like Richarlison's probably one of the worst ones for it in the Premier League. Even Anthony Gordon's starting to make a name for himself in that department. So yeah, it's not. I don't know why anyone would want to build that reputation for him, because it's not. It doesn't bear well for him. So
yeah, no, agreed. It's something that needs to be stamped out of the game, not brought in.
absolutely.
All right, well, that's probably going to wrap it up for us, I think, today. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We are very close to our goal of 500 subs. We are looking, obviously, if you're coming over from our AFL videos, we are looking at doing a live stream if we hit 500 subs. So please, if you like what you're seeing, please sub, please like the videos. It helps out a lot. And thanks, guys, and we'll see you guys later.